出来的吗？是手工制作的吗？
基本上都是我们的那个手工的彩绘。
So are all these made by hand?
现在有一些那个我们用了一些那个丝印，因为有时候那个量大了的时候，可能那个来不及了，就要搞一些那个丝绘。但是我们传统就是由手绘来的。
那它的材质是什么材质呢？
它材质主要那个用于支撑这个龙形的龙体的，主要是那个钢丝，钢架。这么样一些材质，那么外面就是我们的一些那个防雨的那些布料，
好的，据我所知啊，重庆铜梁的铜梁龙舞是被国家评为第一批非物质文化遗产的，所以说我也对这个铜梁的龙舞。非常的期待哈。
Chongqing Fire Dragon Dance was listed in the first batch of intangible cultural heritage in the national level, and I heard that tonight there will be a variety of Chongqing fire dragons. Can you tell us what kinds are there? We have many kinds of dragons. When we apply for the intangible cultural heritage list, we listed 22. We have a variety of dragons, and there's a total of 10 kinds of fire dragons. And also we have lantern dances. The lanterns appear together with the dragons. For example, for fish leaping over Dragon Gate and Loge eating sweet dumpling, and pigs eating pumpkins and gazing into the moon. There are a total of 12 kinds, but now it's been developed into more than 30 kinds of dragon dances. As we can see, there are a large crowd coming here to watch the fire dragon dance. There are senior people as well as junior ones. We can see a lot of old people coming forward. There's a square in the front. This square is a necessity every time Chongqing performs fire dragon dance. Curator Dong, I have a question. Why are we so obsessed with the dragon culture? Can you tell us about it? The dragon culture of Chongqing can date back to 1,000 years ago. There was a legend in the folklore. There was a child, and he accidentally picked up a legendary luminous pearl, and then he became a dragon and began to work for the gods in traditional Chinese legends. And then he needs to come back when New Year occurs. So the people in Chongqing understands, so they put on a show and performance to welcome him home. So that is the lantern show of Chongqing nowadays. Because our local people have very distinctive understanding about dragons. For one thing, the look of the dragons are slightly different. Because dragons mostly appear to be intimidating, but here we have milder ones. Also, we used to have a parade on the square. So this dance became one with many routines. And this together shows a story that is original to our people. So now it has become very renowned nationwide. the dance, the pattern, they're all very interesting. They're all very outstanding. According to my understanding, dragons appear to be showing the spirits of the Chinese, very upward and very diligent. Now, where we're standing is the square where fire dragon dance performance. Every time the festival occurs, the viewers would all gather here to watch the very interesting fire dragon dance. And we can see a lot of local residents have gathered here who are also expecting the performance of fire dragon dance. There are around 3,000 lanterns on the backstage, and there are 2 dragons in front of the lanterns. This is also the typical 2 dragons playing with beads pattern. This is very vivid and lively. Now we can see a number of performers are preparing. Later tonight, these performers will come on stage, and over 90% of these performers are local residents of Chongqing. They're farmers and staff from Chongqing, undergoing a very simple training. They can perform the fire dragon dance. Therefore, the fire dragon dance of Chongqing comes from local places, and now it is also taking its place in the local area. All these ordinary people are performing, and this is an art that belongs to the general public. We have done very successfully with the passing down and protection of this culture. Let's take a look around. What are they preparing? Now they're preparing at the front gate. And later they will perform themselves as a parade and enter our square. Can we take a look over there? Of course. We need to go to the front gate to see that how they're preparing. Okay, let's go and take a look. This is the dressing room for the performers. In the front, we can see a lot of props. Let's take a look. So what is this dragon on the ground? This is the last one that will appear on the stage, the fire dragon. Firecrackers are bounded to this dragon. And we have also put some lanterns inside this dragon. Now, because there are too many routines of this performance, so the traditional lanterns have been changed into more modern ones where batteries are used. No matter what kinds of the dragons are, the basic look are the same. Okay, let's go to the backstage and see how the performers are preparing. We can see at the front gate that if they're ready. Is this the dressing room for tonight? Yes. This is where they change their costumes. And this park right over here is very huge. This is a sightseeing area where we attract tourists with our ecological farming. Every year on Spring Festival, dozens of thousands of people will gather here Aside from viewing the lanterns, they will also watch the fire dragon dance. I heard that this fire dragon dance will continue on to the 15th day, which is the Lantern Festival of our lunar year. Yes. Every year we're excited to see this and we can never get tired of it. Because in the legend, seeing a fire dragon dance can bring us more exciting times. In the past, the highest number for tourists and visitors are around 20,000 people. Are you local from Chongqing? Yes. So you grew up watching this fire dragon dance? Yes. Actually, I was in the town and I had fewer opportunities to see this. However, watching fire dragon dance actually started when I moved to Chongqing to work around 2000. So I have watched the process of development of Chongqing fire dragon dance. This group of lanterns shows a happy and prosperous life of our farming. This shows the crops as well as the vegetables that we plant. Okay, now we're approaching where the performers are resting and see how they're preparing the performance. Okay, we're approaching the front gate of this park. All the performers will be getting ready right over here and then enter the square. They will have a variety of props, and tonight we will see, aside from the three major kinds of fire dragon dances, we will also see the lantern dance. For example, fish leaping over Dragon Gate, mountain opening tigers, and some very meaningful folk dances. So every year in Chongqing, we used to perform this. So where are they preparing right now? Outside the front gate. This is the front gate of the park. It looks like the petals of a flower. I think this park is a sea of lanterns and flowers. We used to hold several festivals here, and this was one of our major exhibition areas. Okay, we're going over right over here.
好了，现在我们可以看到，这个演员们哈已经穿好了衣服，在这里候场了。对对对，他们接到指令就会。
All right, now we can see all the performers all dressed up are preparing right here. When they've received orders, they will go on from here and proceed into the square. Hello? May I ask what performance will you be showing? A big dragon? What is the difference between a common dragon and a big one? We have more skills and techniques. What kinds of techniques?
您是哪人？我同样本地人。本地人。什么时候开
Two dragons playing with the bead and two dragons coming out of
是以此为职
the
业还是
sea.
以此
Where are
为
you
兴趣
from?
呢？
I'm from Chongqing, locally. How long have you been doing this? For 5 years.
每个月能挣多少钱？靠舞龙。
Do you view this as an interest or a profession? Both. How much can you
哇，那
make
那
every
并
month?
不是以此为工作。
We're very free,
完全
and
是
this is
爱好。那么咱们
obligation,
大龙的团队有多少人啊？
so it is completely free. This is one of the hobbies, and you don't make money of it. So they're all locally from Chongqing. This is free of charge, and they're performing for us for free. Can you say hello to the audience? I can see that you're all very young. Who is the youngest in your team? 18? 17? Who is that? Please raise your hand. Are you the youngest? Which year were you born? 2001. This is the new generation of millennials. I wish you a very successful performance. Let's go on to see if there are other things.
这里边啊就有我们这个道具。那个总馆长来给我们介绍一下哈，这个里边这个龙是什么龙？
Let's take a look at the props inside. Can you introduce to us what kind of dragon is this one? This is called the big dragon. This is one of the most typical kind of dragon. So all the other kinds of dragons derive from this one, big dragon. We have made this dragon lighter and thinner or shorter into other kinds of dragons. What makes us proud is that the competing dragons of Chongqing has been appointed in the national competition by the authority. And we're about to begin with the performance today. And now may I turn the signal to the site. And later I will prepare for the screen. And in this process, I will introduce this. And I can show you how the television signals are transmitted. So hello audience, now I will show you around the fire dragon dance. As we all know, Chongqing is the home of dragon dance. Can you tell us the history of the dragon dance? The legends of dragons can date back to thousands of years in Chongqing. However, putting dragon as a dance and an art has at least 300 to 400 years. From our records, from Qing dynasty, so around 400 years before, the fire dragon dance was at its apex. A fire dragon dance and other kinds of acrobatics were performed throughout the night in Qing dynasty. So at that time we can understand how this dance was popular. And different kinds of dragons were parading on the streets and dancing in the streets. Okay, let's take a look inside. The Spring Festival Lantern Show of Dragon Dance will be showing. in a very short moment. So now we're entering the site, and the Fire Dragon show is about to begin. As we understand, there are a lot of other kinds of dragons. Can you introduce to us more? As I have mentioned, there are 22 kinds initially, and out of the 22, 10 kinds belong to the dragon dance. We have also 12 lantern dances, including fish leaping over a dragon gate, Lodge eating sweet dumpling and gazing into the moon, pigs eating pumpkins. These are all lantern dances. So in the past, all these performances were parading in streets from day to night. Can you explicitly introduce us to all the features of each kind of dragon dance? Later, I will elaborate when we are seeing the dances, because we're not watching them right now, so I'm afraid that the audience cannot understand. So now we're walking towards the site. If you have any questions, you can leave them with us. This is one group of lanterns with a subject. This picture shows us a pot watering the flowers. So as we can see, the flowers are very spectacular. Okay, let's continue on to the stage. As we can see, there's a really huge crowd on site, and all the audience are gathering into the main stage because the show is about to begin. As we know, the most famous one is the Big Dragon of Chongqing. Can you introduce to us about the legend? The legend of the Big Dragon is about the glowing pearl. There used to be a little boy who picked up one glowing pearl, and it used to serve as a function which money can derive from it. So he accidentally put it into his mouth and accidentally swallowed it. So he felt very thirsty, and then he went to drink from the river, and then he changes into one dragon. After that, he became one of the workers under the gods. So every year in spring, around the lunar January 7th or 8th, he is allowed to go back home. So every year around this time, the local residents would welcome him back to his hometown and parade the dragons from day to night. And together they're spending this festival. And this is the story of the Big Dragon of Chongqing. It is very long and thick and big. So the artists have made a very typical big dragon appearance. This is also very classic nationwide. And the dances created around it is also very awesome, because these dances are showing the features of living of these dances. When China founded for 35, 50, and 60 years, as well as the Beijing Olympic Games, Chongqing Big Dragon performed there. So this is very renowned and is worth to be proud of. Thank you, curator, for introducing to us. We can see the performance is about to begin, and the musical accompaniment is very obvious. Audiences are all gathering up. The fire dragon is about to start. Let's take a look. We can see the audiences mounting up, and they're all anticipating the performance tonight. This furnace we're seeing right now will splash the molten iron into the air. Maybe we can walk nearer to see it. We can also come to see the process of the molten iron. Now this man over here is making molten iron by this furnace, and they will use this metal can. The irons are within it, and then they will melt it into a splash, and then it will become a shower of sparks. How long does it take to make the molten iron? Around 15 minutes. Around 14 minutes. So now it is making the molten iron, and the performance is coming to us nearer. We can see these two men are preparing for the molten iron. Can you introduce to us about the technique when the sparks are splashed? This requires the collaboration by two men. The first one needs to take out the molten iron by a ladle. We can see the molten iron is in the making, and the audience is gathering up. We're all listening to the music and anticipating the start of the performance. We can see many furnaces right here. So how many is there? There are 8 groups of furnaces, so in total there are 16. As we can imagine how beautiful the scenery would look. Now we can see our colleagues are ready. They're all wearing fireproof costumes so that they can shoot in close range for the splashing of sparks. Wearing this kind of clothes can prevent them from being burning up by the 1,200 degrees of molten iron. As we can see, the performers are gathering up in front of the dressing room. They're preparing for the later performance. Mr. Curator, can you tell us which show are they getting ready for? These performers are the Fire Dragon performers. They will change into one pair of shorts, and they will be bare in the top of their body. I have a question. Will they be at risk of exposing themselves to the molten iron? They exactly do not need to wear clothes, because when you're not wearing clothes, your skin is covered by grease and perspiration, so these will prevent you from being burnt by the molten iron. But instead, if you're wearing any clothes, the fibers will burn up. I suggest you to take a look at the furnace burning. Okay, let's go back to the furnaces, and I'll show you how the molten iron is made. And we can see how the furnaces are preserved and how the iron is molten. We can see that the fire is really burning on top of our furnaces. And these two are busy preparing for the fire. Tonight, because of the broadcast of CCTV, yes, on our television channel, we will bring you live with the Fire Dragon dance. Tonight we have prepared two groups of furnaces which can help the audiences watch this for longer times. Right now, maybe you cannot hear us clearly because there are some safety concerns. broadcasted to the audiences. So they need to keep some distance because there is a level of risk of being burned.
所有的观众就追着那个龙跑，追着火龙跑。如果铁水打到身上，它是又爱又怕。
So in the past, when we watched this in an urban area, the spectators would follow the dragons, and sometimes the molten iron would splash into some audiences, and then they will be burned. Normally, the molten iron cannot hurt people. The most crucial part where we need to protect is our eyes. When molten iron comes toward us, we need to avoid it, of course. I heard that being hit by molten iron has an auspicious meaning, which wishes a good harvest year.
那个运气不好的，什么疾病、劫难这些，全都可以烧去。那么来年
This means a born of fire, means reborn after being burned. So this is a good meaning.
我们可以看到啊，现在这2桶火正在熊熊地烧着。我们的火龙表演呢，也要进入倒计时了。
As we can see, these 2 buckets of fire are burning vividly, and we're counting down to the official show.
冬天和火龙，它还有大家所感兴趣的就是，它能够那个火炉一起来呀，就感觉很温暖。它可以驱掉那个驱除寒冬的那种。
So in winters, if we're doing this performance, we can feel the warmth brought by the fire dragon dance, and they can warm us up immediately. Exactly. Performing fire dragon dances can help us keep warm.
这也是我们的传统的习俗。
The reason that we put the fire dragon dance in the last part of our performance is one of the oldest traditions of ours. Because of the legend, the boy needs to come home in the 7th or 8th in the January. At the lunar festival, he needs to go back to the sky. So we would use fire dragon dance to send them home safely. After sending him back, the lantern show and dragon show are wrapped up as well. So from the day of the Chinese New Year, the show will begin, and every day we have a set of shows. We start this in the first day of the lunar January because tourists and visitors around the country are all expecting this. We can see the sparks flying from the 2 furnaces. We can see that some performers are dressed in their costumes. Those 3, they're wearing the costume for performance. These 2 are the same. They're changing right now. There's a girl. I think she is coming here to show the fire meteor tonight. This begins the show of fire dragon dance. Can we interview this beautiful woman right over here? Hello, can I know that how many years have you been performing this? I haven't been performing very long. It's always been my father. And now they're away. So when I come back, when I have this opportunity, I would perform. So what kind of shows will you perform tonight? Fire shooting star. This is one part of the final show, fire dragon dance. Is there any techniques? You need to swim the fire. How long do you need to train yourself before you can perform? Around an hour? This quick? Yes. Because my father is a criticizer of dragon, and our whole family know how to do this. So I've been learning this growing up. So when you perform or you play with fire, would you worry that it will burn you? No, because I am used to it. Do you have a special kind of gear that can protect you? I would.
你们现在穿的这身衣服是你们舞龙比较特色的吗？舞龙专用的那种服装。
Around my waist and wrist.
好的，我们可以看到呢，这边我们已经烧好，正在烧铁水。
Yes. As we can see, these two furnaces are burning the molten iron as well.
随着那个时间的推移，我们看到那个炉火已经非常旺了，这个铁水应该在慢慢融化。
As time passing by, we can see the fire burning up, and the molten iron is melting away.
好的，我们呢现场的表演马上就要开始了。预祝所有的来宾朋友们，还是全国各地的好朋友们，新年快乐，身体健康，万事如意，猪年吉祥！谢谢你们的掌声，我知道大家今天晚上的等待一定是值得的，因为今天晚上咱们的龙舞表演。 特别的精彩。好的，我们现在呢往远处方向看一下，那边呢已经有龙灯朝着我们走来了。
现在我们看到龙灯队伍已经马上要进场了。然后我们在那个地方给大家介绍一下。2万年前的旧石器时代的晚期，就有我们的祖先在这里繁衍生息，在这里龙灯文化积淀深厚，春节龙灯会、端午。 龙舟会、观音庙会、城隍庙会，全都是龙灯荟萃的殿堂。这里龙灯艺术璀璨夺目，春天风筝龙，夏天水云龙，秋天稻草龙，冬天五火龙，秋雨黄金龙，同系竹帮龙，30多个龙灯的品种姿态万千。 作为首批国家非物质文化遗产铜梁龙舞。好的，我们现在可以看到，我们这场表演的主持人已经开始为大家做介绍了。中国成立的35周年、50周年、60周年国庆大典，并且非常荣幸的参与了2008年北京奥运会、2010年上海世博会的重大的庆典活动，还远赴泰国、日本、韩国。
我们可以看到啊，现在场上已经打起了火花。
现在我们看到龙灯的游行队伍进场了，走在最前面的应该是我们的云牌。云牌呢，它是龙出来之前的一个征兆。因为龙能够上天入海嘛，它的出现，它总会伴随着那个风云雷电，还有汹涌的波涛，所以我们就有了云牌。那么云牌和水牌出来 就说明有龙马上就要出来了。
现在呀，云排正在向我们走来。
走在云排后面的是我们的排灯，前面写着“铜梁龙灯”，这是我们铜梁龙灯的招牌。它后面有4个字，叫“人寿年丰”。它是表达铜梁人民对来年那个幸福、风调雨顺、人寿年丰的一个期盼。
Ear.
这是我们的猪灯，叫猪啃南瓜。猪呢代表。
This is the pig lantern. This is called pigs eating pumpkin. Pigs stands for the livestock, and the pumpkins stands for the crop. So this also means that the livestock and harvest is very auspicious in the next year. Also, this wishes that the money can be brought to everyone. And these are 3 fish.
分别叫解元、会元和状元，叫3元。我们如果读书人在每一第1名，那就叫3元及第。这就是一个读书人的最高的这个愿望了。
The scholars of each kind can excel at their own fields. This is a dance for fish leaping over Dragon Gate. So this carp is very different than the normal kind of carps because the head of it has changed into the dragon's head, and it is in a transition from fish to dragon. And now, this is the tiger and lion. These 2 also is the sign for auspicious wishes.
这是云排、水排在做那个波涛的那个舞蹈。
This is a wave dance made by clouds. Now it's a competing dragon of Tongliang. So the wave of clouds signals that the dragon is about to appear. The lantern of pigs and fish, lion and tiger can all come before the dragon lantern. The dragon lantern is the best in all kinds of lanterns, and all kinds of lanterns are led by dragon lantern. This competing dragon dance is serving the purpose of competition. This group of cloud waves will bring out the featured dragon of Tongliang, big dragon. Tongliang big dragon is very distinctive. As you can see, the props, this is very spectacular. The color drawing is also very exquisite. And this is also very grand.
现在所有在广场的中央，将要会给那个来自全国各地的游客朋友们拜新年。
Now, at the center of the stage, they're wishing a good year to all the tourists that have come here to watch this dance. Now let's go in a closer range to see the dragon lanterns. We can see that all the lanterns are gathered in the square. In the past, we can see this kind of scene in Chongqing every year. I can feel the lively and boisterous enthusiasm. This is the glamour of the dragon culture. As we can see, the big dragon in front of us are already dancing, and an exciting performance will be brought to us. Let's follow the on-site host to interview. Are you a professional actress? No. Where are you from? I am a farmer. So in your free time, you are performing this dragon dance? Yes. So what's your feeling to do this? I have never expected to be an actor and to bring happiness to the audience. This year is the year of pig, so now we're waving and moving the pig lanterns. Just now, the golden pigs have paid their visit. Now we're about to enjoy the performance of dragon dance. I have felt the enthusiasm by the spectators tonight, so we can see that all of them are very anticipating. Later, we will see a complete performance of 3 kinds of dragons. The first one appearing on stage is the big dragon of Chongqing. We can hear the loud cheering and applause. The spectators as well as the performers are both very excited. This is the performance of 2 dragons playing with bead, a very typical play in Chongqing. Tonight, the routine of 2 dragons playing with bead have changed slightly. These 2 dragons are 30 meters, and at the end, these 2 dragons will become one. Then we can see the grand gesture of Chongqing dragon. Now we can zoom in and help you to feel the grandeur of Chongqing big dragon. The performers that we're seeing right now are not professional. They're local farmers or students who have come back from the vacation.
现场的声音呢现在非常的热闹，所以呢声音可能会有一些听不清。
The scene is pretty loud, so you may have trouble hearing my voice. Can you introduce about the special steps and routine of the big dragon? Are you talking about the movements of the dance? Yes. There are a few dozens of routines. 2 dragons coming out of the water. 2 dragons and 3 dragons coming into the gate. And slow and fast dance. Dragons coming out of the cave. Etc. There are numerous routines. According to the habits of the dragon, these artists have created these movements. So the dragon dance have very complex routines. The best situation for dragon dance is people and dragon combining together, because after all, the dragons do not have facial expressions and they cannot move by themselves. So the performers, according to their own features and feelings as well as expressions, they are passing through these into the dragons. This is the best situation. Tongyang Dragon's one feature is that the musical accompaniment is percussion and brass. The accompaniment that you're hearing right now is the one I'm talking about, which is slightly different from other places' musical accompaniment. The performers need to learn Sichuan opera. Therefore, they can dance the right routines and steps. And that's the reason why they can touch and move people. This is a very typical model of dragon. Dear audiences, please pay attention. The coming up dragon is around 60 meters.
就是我们典型的铜梁大龙，大气势，大的道具。
This is the typical big dragon of Tongliang. This is very grand.
好的，我们看到呢，现在我们的铜梁大龙已经表演结束了。我们下面要迎来的是什么样的表演呢？
Now, the big dragon of Tongliang has concluded its performance. Now, what are we expecting for the next one?
8点29分会准时让所有的朋友出现在全国观众的面前。现在我必须要以主持人的身份来调动一下全场的。
好的，现在呢，我们的电视端也马上就要为大家带来我们的火龙直播了。我们呢现在
Okay, our TV channel will bring you live with the fire dragon dance.
整个舞龙的表演。
And now we will move to a higher platform so that I can show you a better angle to see the performance.
我们的热情更加的高涨，好不好？来，右边的朋友，3、2、1。好，谢谢你们，非常给力。左边的朋友，轮到你们了，准备好了吗？
我们看到啊，现场的观众们现在都发出了热烈的欢呼声。我们现在呢，稍微往高一点的地方去。
We can see the spectators are cheering very loudly. Let's take you to a higher place.
好的，我们现在呀已经来到了观众之间。好的，谢谢您。可以看到呀，观众们现在
Now we are among the spectators.
火龙表演。
As we can see, all the audience are expecting the fire dragon dance.
来，让我们来采访一下我们现场的一些观众。请问您是过来看火龙表演的吗？
对。
Let's interview some audience here. Have you come here exclusively for the fire dragon dance? Yes. Where have you come from? We're locally from here, but our hometown is not in Tongliang. Would you come here every year? Yes, we're working outside of here. And every year we would come back and watch this show. Have you brought your family together here? Yes. This is my daughter and this is my wife. I have brought them here to see this show tonight. Okay, thank you. We're expecting this show tonight as well. As we can see, the 8 furnaces are prepared, and the fire dragon is prepared as well. There are 16 furnaces divided into 2 groups consisting 2 furnaces. So how long can the sparks be splashed? One furnace can be splashing for around 10 minutes. If the man is very skilled, then about 15 minutes. So we will have around 20 minutes of fire dragon dance. Yes, around 20 minutes. This is very worth our anticipation. This is the fire shooting star to welcome the fire dragon. A ceremony, to be exact. This performer right over here should be the beautiful woman that we just interviewed. She has learned this from her father. The fire shooting star comes from coal. After burning the charcoal, it will be put into a container and then the brightness can come up. Now the fire has been lit. Now the molten iron has been splashed. This is a pre-show because normally they would splash the molten iron after the dragon appears. We can see the dragon has entered the stage. The molten iron is very spectacular tonight because the color is bright and white, which indicates the full burning. This is a very outstanding effect. As we can see the sparks coming toward us, I have a feeling of shooting stars coming onto the ground. This is very beautiful. It's like shooting stars all over the sky. As we can see, the spectators are taking out their phones to record this beautiful moment. The sparks are becoming huge. The molten iron can be up to 1,000 degrees. I can't imagine who is the one who invented this to splash the molten iron into the sky. Can't the performers be burnt after the sparks come to the ground? But then it is scientifically proven that for hundreds of years, no one has been severely injured by the molten iron. However, this is a little bit intimidating to see the sign of molten iron coming toward us. I think the performers requires courage as well. Most of the performers are local farmers and they have experienced very crucial times. So in summer times, they need to plant, and then their skin becomes sicker, so they're not afraid of the heat as us. Also, the performers need to run around, so the molten water will not hang on their bodies, so they will not get hurt. We have a saying that fire dragon dance is one of the most exquisite dance. And there is no other kinds of dances that can surpass the level of intensity. This is very thrilling and mind-blowing. Is there any other kind of dances that can be as breathtaking as this one?
来越多的朝我们扑面而来。刚才观众群众已经发出了惊呼的声音。
Now we can see more and more sparks coming toward us, and some of the audience have been startled. When the molten iron hits the head of the audience, they would cheer as well as scream. This is a very distinctive feeling to watch this on site. You do not have this kind of feeling when you're watching this in front of a television. Maybe we can zoom in.
Wow, 我们可以现场观众真的是惊呼声阵阵，大家都非常的高兴。
We can see the screams and cheers of the audience, and everyone is so delighted. If molten iron cannot be splashed around you, the people cannot be mobilized. When we used to perform this in the urban areas, people would follow the fire dragon and they would not be afraid of the molten iron hitting on them. Because this means a reborn after fire, so all the unlucky and unfortunate stuff will be washed away by the sparks.
我们可以看到啊，现在广场中央正在交叉穿梭着两条火龙。
We can see that two fire dragons are crossing over at the center of the stage.
好，现在呢，我们的火龙表演就已经结束了，相信大家已经感受到非常精彩的画面了。
Now the fire dragon dance is completed. I believe that you have seen this mind-blowing scene. Your audiences, our broadcast of Fire Dragon Dance in Chongqing is wrapping up. If you have the opportunity, please come in person to feel this mind-blowing performance of Fire Dragon Dance.